One more team is going to lock themselves into the playoffs. One best of one between the Australian Renegades and Gambit here in Jönköping to go ahead and get the first day off to an explosive start. Gambit have impressed, as have Renegades besting Cloud9 in their first game. Gambit already turning heads as well. Counter-Strike is a game that is at its most competitive, arguably, and now we get a chance to see how the DreamHack ZOWIE Open continues to play out. That trophy and $100,000 is on the line for the 8 teams competing here. And this is a big step in the right direction. You win one map now, one map of CS, and you're in the semi-finals. That grand final is one best of 3 away. A dream for both of these teams, and now it's going to come down to understanding how it will play out. It's going to be, of course, Moses and YNK joining me on this desk for one final map of the night. Gentlemen, Janko, you're still breathing, and I'm impressed. Great to have you here. Pretty in blue, as always. And the first port of call is going to be quickly reminding everyone how we got to the situation when we have Renegades Gambit for a semi-final spot. That's important.
We had Renegades best Cloud9 in that Dust 2 game, and actually pretty impressive for them because yes, they were in the lead, but then Cloud9 started coming back. We had a very close game, and Renegades did manage to edge it out in the very end, something that they haven't been able to do in the past. On the other hand, we had Gambit play Optic Gaming, another very solid North American team, probably the 2 best teams from North America if we exclude the Brazilians. So it was uncommon, and they had a much easier run in that game. Seemed to be in the front seat for the whole game, pretty much.
Yeah, and as you can see there, it's going to be Godsent who picked up their first spot in the semi-finals. The Swedes getting onto home turf, and that's a big relief for them. Kingwin will be playing that decider match to try and battle versus likely a rematch versus Dignitas, and as flip side, step up their game. And that's where we're at now. Top of Group B, Renegades and Gambit looking to go ahead and get some repeated success. One of these teams, however, will flounder. Now, Jason, I think Janko's made a fantastic point there that both of these teams had to get through some of the best North American talent to get to this point, and now they're one map away. Whether or not that was a true test, that's for you to say. Cloud9 and Optic falling.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a true test. I don't think the Cloud9 we saw against Renegades was the best Cloud9 we've seen, just as I don't think the Optic that we saw was the best Optic that we've seen in the past. So I mean, both those teams I feel like playing a little bit beneath their level, but that still doesn't take anything away from those victories. That being said, the Renegades that we saw beat Cloud9, I mean, if we're honest, was pretty shaky. We saw some mistakes. We saw some, in my opinion, some questionable decisions strategically, like such as on Dust 2, they were doing, allowing bomb plants with 5 players still alive and doing a 5-on-5 retake. I personally think that's a little bit insane. I don't think that's going to give you a lot of high percentage chances to win those rounds. And against Gambit as well, they can't make some of the mistakes that they did against Cloud9. They can't be losing 4-on-2s because I think Gambit is going to punish that much, much more than what we saw Cloud9 do earlier today. So I think Renegades, while that's a good win earlier, did not look that polished, and they need to be here.
Well, we can take a look at the unpolished Aussies. RDL, in his own words, says you got to watch out for Gambit, and Renegades, no doubt, will have done their homework. It is none other than the likes of JKS, AZR, Azza, to excuse me, Yam, Estilo, and Ricky. I'm only getting that off of Sponge's video he tweeted, basically saying Azza like 7 times.
Sponge?
Sponge and AZR. Azer and Jux. That's JKS. There he is. Jux himself, the savage man, who widely regarded as probably one of the 2. It seems like the 2 players with their 3 letters have been widely regarded as the 2 heavy hitters.
How do you think I got my nickname?
Oh, the less letters, the better.
Didn't help me, of course, but never mind. Moving swiftly on.
We can do that. We can start talking about the man on our screens who, I mean, he was an influential part, on Dust 2. It seems to be the map where he does go off. He's like an Australian Smiths.
I mean, that's the thing. When you look at this Renegades team with Yam and Ricky, I mean, Ricka, however you're...
Ricka.
We're going to get another Sponge video, obviously.
Yeah.
But the big thing is when you have two players that are so... I mean, those are two primary oppers in the past in their teams in Australia. Yeah, Yam was the primary opper for Renegades before Ricka joined, and Ricka was the primary opper of Immunity. Those IMMs.
Yeah.
But when you have two players like that who have experience being that primary opper, I think it almost kind of tilts your what maps you want to play towards maps that are going to be op friendly, like Dust 2. You know, even Overpass to a certain degree, where you can have effective oppers, but you need to be playing in those more open maps. Train, for instance, which is another good Renegades map.
Well, interestingly enough, there's a much more different dynamic on Gambit. While they may have two AWPers that aren't too sure, Yam having confidence issues at times, as does Ricky, and on the other side, you've got Mo, who has just been this consistent presence, and we actually got to see some of his star potential in his first game. But alongside him, it is the main man, Zeus. Probably the most recognizable face for anyone that's unfamiliar with CS as much as the guys here on the desk. And I would like you to quickly outline, you know, why Zeus's name is so renowned and what it has achieved within the game that is Counter-Strike, basically.
I mean, he's you know, formerly of Navi, obviously, and during a lot of their run this year and towards the end of last year, you know, winning San Jose last year. Yeah. But you know, he is kind of that in-game leader next to Starix, who is like a tactician behind him as the coach. But Zeus was kind of that leadership presence within that team. And the big reason why he's important specifically for Gambit is that this team didn't really feel like it had a whole lot of leadership to it, and they didn't have a whole lot of structure, and they'd kind of hit a plateau playing virtually on the skill that they had in that lineup. So bringing him in gives them a little bit of a new face, you know, just that presence of a leadership, which we've seen is so impactful on certain teams, to be able to say, you know, this is exactly what we're doing, and maybe honing in even on some of the fundamentals of the game that you lack without that kind of leadership quality.
It's something I'm looking forward to seeing if it does translate into another best of one. I genuinely cannot wait to start doing those predictions, but there's one step before that, and that's, of course, the map veto. Yanko, we'll just go ahead and bring them up as you do walk us through some of your expectations. Admittedly, it's not as easy to call as some teams, Renegades and Gambit. Is there anything that you can kind of immediately assume? Any assumptions you're making here? Do we get to replay anything? Is there anything we insta-ban?
You know what they say, Alex, assumption is the mother of all.
Yeah.
You can Google
muck-ups. Muck-ups, I think, is
muck-ups.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe something like Train.
Ooh, fair call. And I mean, you can explain your thought process behind that. I mean, admittedly, it was the one map that they've actually played head-to-head.
What I vaguely that, and what I think is the map that both teams are okay to play it.
Right.
That they won't veto it in a best of one.
Renegades will also be willing to play Cobble. That was another map that back like towards the end of Sponge's reign, that was the map that was like their primary map pick. They got very good with nades and utility and the executions towards that B bomb site. So I imagine that. Well, I mean, it depends on if Gambit's good. I don't see. Okay, I didn't see Renegades banning Cobble. So Gambit takes that out now between Cash and Train. I think it's pretty likely we're going to see that Train because this is what Renegades likes to play.
Yanko, have you done it? Have you done it? Pulled the rabbit from the hat. We'll find out. It's just going to be the choice then left up to Renegades, and they're going to go for Cash. So close.
I like that.
Cash.
I love Cash.
We haven't seen Cash yet.
We know you love Cash, Jason. Cash money, of course.
Hey,
but
he is Bruce Wayne after all.
Yeah.
He had a lot of cash, right?
Billionaire, yeah.
He was a rich dude, yeah. Tony Stark, they all blur into one, I don't know.
I think that...
A lot of billionaire superheroes these days.
Well, you can just buy your way into superheroism.
And your way into Counter-Strike.
Yeah, hey.
I think it's interesting the fact that Gambit decided to veto Cobble. I like it because obviously Renegades could have... They probably had just watched that game and they could have picked up a couple of things. Yeah. This way you play a map that they didn't really see you play and, you know, throw another weapon from your arsenal at them.
Now, since the knife round is yet to start, I'd like to ask you a rather intriguing question of you guys. It's been discussed quite often and openly in interviews with Renegades and with other players that some AWPers or some players struggle with confidence if they're not feeling it. You know, we talk about this, oh, he's not feeling it today, he's giving it to someone else, the secondary AWPer takes it over. Do you believe that this could have some negative side effects to it? I mean, when someone's not feeling it and then suddenly there's inconsistency on your play, or do you believe having that fallback option is viable? They have Ricky, they have Yam, and whoever's feeling hotter can pick it up. What do we think about that?
I dislike it in a sense that means like if you're not feeling confident on the day, you just don't pick it. I think it should be a matter of is it your role, your job, and do you feel confident playing that role? If you are, then you should play it in every possible circumstance. Only in a situation where you would have like two equally good AWPers, and then one has that role, and then if he's not feeling it, the other one can do it proficiently. But I personally don't like that role being split.
Okay.
I think the big thing with it is when you see that secondary opper, he's usually primarily a good rifler who can also function with the op. It's not usually two primary oppers who are lesser with the rifles, because that's what we have here with Renegades. So I mean, if they're not going to employ a double op setup, you are going to see one of those players is going to be weaker with the rifle than he is with the op, so less of an impact.
I have to say, I'm only real quick. I'm interested to see how Gambit plays Cash, because Zeus never played it with Navi. They always banned it, and he's the in-game leader. So will it be someone else pulling the strings? I hope they win so we can ask them that question.
That's actually a brilliant
And that's
question.
why I'm going with Gambit.
He's going for Gambit. And Jason, just finally, your prediction. We've got a bold Gambit prediction here. You gonna go double?
Yeah, he actually made me doubt. I was gonna go Gambit. That Zeus thing that really threw me for a loop.
Because he really wasn't a fan.
I'm behind one prediction on the day. He's ahead of me by one, so I'm just gonna take Renegades, and we're just gonna double down and see what happens.
All right. Well, you're double downing with the down under, and he's going to be going for Gambit. All right. Split the desk once again. Renegades and Gambit are about to do battle on Cash, and it's a step closer to the Cash as well. 100,000 is on the line here for the DreamHack ZOWIE Open. You casters are ready for our final game of the day. They are high energy, they are high octane, and they are just high. It's going to be Henry G and Sadakist.
High on life, I would say.
Glad you took that one away because I didn't know what to respond with.
High on life.
We are high on life. Definitely, and I'm high on this game. Gambit Renegades, another game, another matchup we didn't expect to see in a decider, or at least a winner's match, I should say, in this group. So a very good chance for either team to slip through and perhaps avoid a rematch against either of the teams that they perhaps unexpectedly beat.
Cash as well.
Yeah.
We don't really get to see that much these days, you know? Like, I think in Oakland we saw like twice, I think, in the entire
Mirage and Cash, I think, were the two least played maps, which is surprising.
It's one of those maps, I guess, that's very high pace, and especially if you're an underdog, you've got good aimers in your team, it allows them to have a bit more of a window, I guess. That's why some of the top teams like, kind of draw it out. I'm not so sure. But still, I'm excited to see this. I can't say I've ever casted a Renegades game on Cash, I don't think. I haven't really casted much of them at all. But
When was the last time? I think it's been a while. You could be right. I don't know.
I think 2015 was the last time I cast.
Wow, you have a good memory.
Yeah, I think that was the last time I actually had the chance.
I won't argue with you.
Well, Gambit, like the guys on the desk, really interesting they bring Cash to the table. Like they pointed out, Zeus, the in-game leader for this team, when he was in Na'Vi, they never ever touched this at all. Cash was always the insta-ban for Na'Vi as a team. So now he's coming in, he's at the helm of this one. Maybe they feel more confident on it. I have to say, last time I casted the players like Mo and Adren was an APM Master Finals in 2015 as well, and they played like this one in their own Hellraisers, and they look very comfortable on this map. So I don't really know which way he's going to go. We'll see what happens here. And we go into the pistol round. Renegade starting on the T side here, 3 sets of armor. They've got 2 smoke grenades and flashbangs as well. As we get into this one, looks like a very heavy A-side commitment. This is known as the Henry G strategy, I think. 4-door, smoking in.
I've seen you run this one once or twice in a show match, I believe. Cologne, when Kenny let me down. Dren, he gets taken out by Ezra. And it's going to be Ustillo to follow up on Hobbit, who does pop out to find one, as is the one that goes down. Ustillo showing off better, though, as he finds up his second kill. Almost his third, 2 HP. Manages to get his head down, stay alive, and that puts Ricky back out in a position. I'm going to mess up all the names for Chad's sake. In Canada, we say Rick A.
Ricky.
Doja, last alive, 1 versus 4. Or 3 plus 2 HP, as it is for Ustillo. Lovely shot from Yam.
Well, perfect execution of the Henry G there, I have to say. Couldn't be better if they tried. You guys get 4 towards the door. You have 1 in main. There's a bit of a risk of the aggression from the CTs coming at the start. You have to flash him off, get the smoke down towards highway, and then you have 4 coming out the door. As long as you make that first kill successfully, you're normally going to win the round, and you have the bomb down, and it's going to be Renegades. Picking up round number 1 here. You're going to round number 2. Gambit now. CZs, 4 spy across the board. Just Mo, who of course is the AWP. He'll just be on the Desert Eagle here. 3 Desert Eagles, 2 CZs, and Renegades actually going in with 2 MAC-10s here. No AKs at all. 3 Khalils to back them up. I kind of like that approach. Means you get the benefits of the rifle and a bit more utility as well. The Khalil is costing $2,000. The AK, of course, $2,700. So that means you get smoke grenades, flashbangs, HEs to work with. And we'll see what happens here. Gambit looks to go a little bit more aggressive here. Adren, maybe you're going to be flashed in momentarily. They have got 2 of those available.
Okay, so you can just sit in a position where he covers off for the push. As they're out towards Squeaky, he isn't going to be able to do much on this unless he gets to the door faster. He's not. He's sat back, so no one will push through. If he was there, he could have capitalized potentially to catch them in transition back toward the site, but no need to overcommit. They're the ones with the weapons. JK is going to throw out the nade. YAM's not far away from him.
I see what you're doing now.
Well, Spun J approves.
I don't think he would approve of that, but I like where you're going with it.
As meanwhile, is going to push back up with MAC-10. get towards Squeaky, open that potentially and push in through the site, but he's got to wait. Right now they've not put the bomb in toward A main just yet. It's at the doorway. It's slowly getting closer. They want to wait for Highway to get controlled, contained, and covered off. You still are the one who's peeked through. Watch the smoke behind them, make sure they don't get caught out. And Zeus taking his time here, very disciplined. Bomb down as well. Ricky's got the shot into him from Doja, and Zeus waits. They haven't peeked out. They forced Renegades to go aggressive, and they go into the site and lose a lot of numbers in doing so. Doja last alive, 47 HP, thankfully pushed back away from this, but not bomb picked up. And Doja, not sure if we had lag on our end or not, but it was very slow reactions. Doesn't get the shot on Azza. He's got the HP advantage over both of these players. He's got armor, and the Deagle's deadly, given both of them are at 17 and 3. Bomb gets planted as he has to concede the fact that a smoke covers the cross. And now it's Renegade's turn to play the same and return to not peek, to sit back, to force Doji to go aggressive. He's making a lot of noise, knows where JKS is. Find the first shot, but can't react fast enough as the flex pops back out and gets the back 10 kill.
Very scary there for Renegades. They managed to get the 2-0. You can see a sigh of relief on their faces there. Would have been quite tilted to lose those kind of rounds there, especially when they had the rifles and it was actually starting to look pretty good at the start there. They got good, decent control. Go up towards short though, but didn't really have the utility to finish things off. They normally want to smoke towards CG spawn, so you're not trying to look towards forklift and the truck area as well at the same time, but wasn't meant to be apparently, and Zeus definitely made things interesting there. Low HP players with the Mac 10s can't quite finish things off cleanly. He comes down to the 1-on-1. But still, if we go into the next round, it is going to be a pretty much fully go here for Gambit. In towards the B side we go. Yustido to lead the charge, finds that first kill. It's actually Ricky that picks it up, and there should be a bomb plant going towards B. But Dosia looking to see what he can do here. Finds a headshot with the PT-50.
Lovely shot as well. Drops the bomb on the way through. It's got to put pressure onto him. No, they have to apply it. No, he's successful. 3-0 Renegades. It's been a while since we've started off a game. The two that we casted earlier both had an eco after the first pistol. So a while that we've casted a game that's gone 3-0 off the start.
Yeah, quite rare these days in CSGO, I have to say. But it's happened. Here we go, 3-0. And we'll see what kind of buy comes in from Gambit. We're expecting the orb from Mo. I think he only had $4,900 there across the board. So he didn't find a single kill. Had he found one in those first 3 rounds, probably been a little bit more beneficial for him. He's rather have an M4 and some nades instead of a glass cannon orb. So I think that's the right decision. Bit of a bonus round here for Renegades. Not so much in terms of money they got left over. It's kind of the mentality they've had to take the Mac 10 to get it over because they've had very tight rounds across the board. So we'll see what happens there. Boost comes in. I doubt Yam will fully commit to this. Well, it looks like he will. So it has to be getting the A site that gets completely overran by the Australians there.
Oh, but shot into Az is going to be successful. They've gotten inside of the site regardless. They're going to toss the gun over. Ricky goes to the pistol. Somehow he kills the Dren regardless. His teammate's gone. He'll go back for that gun surely as he gets the AK instead. Watch Hobbit's position. He's not quite spotted through the smoke. Just sees him in the backside as he gets down inside Ricky, but 22 HP for him. And a
bit of a nightmare round for him, but you know, it's fine.
Drank the alcohol out of that bottle before he threw it, obviously. He put it into the smoke. Hobbit's made his way in behind the forklift. We mentioned this already, but keep in mind he's the low HP player, so we can get a little bit more aggressive on this. And Zeus finding Ricky on top of the site. They're going to put a smoke on it. Yam's early to try and spray through. And JKS, the same position, he's just got the Molotov in play, and the timing might be dead on because they've only got one kid. It's Doji that has it, picked up the first kill lineup, and JKS can only find one, but they've committed off of it their way, and it will be the round of Renegades regardless.
Not the cleanest round of CS, Matt, I have to say. It's quite sloppy affair, but still, Renegades did just enough there to clinch it out in those closing sectors. They didn't have the man advantage, but they did have the Molotovs there. After the force buy in the second round, Gambit limited in terms of the smoke grenades and the defuse kits. Only had one kit right, and no smokes towards the end of that round. The bomb's down in open position. They keep Molotoving the bomb from A main, and they managed to win the round off. Just in his Molotov, Ricky, though. Some interesting decisions made in terms of like dropping the gun over, then running at the Glock. Somehow got away with that first one. And then throwing the Molotov directly into the smoke as well. Wasn't ideal, but still, no harm, no foul. They win the round, you know. So, and we'll be round number 5. And Renegades still coming down to these one-on-ones every single time. Going to be committing heavily towards B.
Good shots coming through, though. Heavily toward B and heavily outweighed in terms of firepower because everyone's greeted by Mo and Doja. They're coming back through the vents as well. We'll find Ricky inside of the checker. So finally, Gambit do get around their way.
Yeah, I guess what was going in favor of Gambit that round, they kept 3 players alive from the previous ones. They actually had the firepower. It was Renegades trying to overwhelm towards B. It wasn't a very traditional round in that sense. Normally you want to be doing a default. They actually went for that kind of surprise contact play towards the side, running through smokes. Didn't really let the CTs were too overwhelmed at that point. Just landing the shots that are required from headshot. And it will be an eco at this point for the Renegades. So, Desert Eagles, PD-50s, 1 flashbang, and a full default for now to kick things off. Maybe a boost up towards middle, but the incendiary will hold them off. Yeah, this has been quite an interesting game of CS so far. Definitely not used to watching, but Still, 4-1 in favor of the Renegades. Should be 4-2. There's Gambit. Almost certainly going to win this round considering the buys coming in. No AWP for Mo just yet, but you know what? He doesn't need one. It's going to be the AK-47 to blow off the head of Ricky there.
Trying to find an angle that's favorable. Nades in, spots A main. No one knows that no one's there, but doesn't want to push all the way through. He could potentially get toward lockers and anchor that down for a faster rotation for his teammates, but they've got the advantage heavily against the weaponry as well. Curious position for Mo to play. Finds one on Yam, but stays in the open, no coverage, and he goes down immediately after on a trade. Triple peek, as it were, from Renegades. Zeus, meanwhile, goes far more passive to contain mid. So Renegades are just going to start to push in that position as well. You still owe Deagle. Range game slowly being nullified, though, as it gets closer and closer. He tries desperately to hit the shot toward it and actually gets decent damage into Zeus, but thankfully Hobbit has worked back down highway. And the nade, I take that back from Molotov. From a distance, it looked circular. It was certainly not.
Certainly not, but 2 rounds in a row now for Gambit. The money's starting to come in favor a little bit more now for the Renegades. They bring out the AWP on Ricky. We know he can be a very explosive AWPer indeed. That's why he's brought into the lineup. That's what they're missing before. It was Yam who's the main AWPer. Now he can be focused on the rifle. And Ricky, he brought in from immunity. It was actually, I think he's been expected to explode on the top end of this team for some time now, and that's his opportunity to show what he can do. And he's got that decent spawn towards middle. Let's see if he can get there before the smoke. He can, but no one crossing over. It's going to deny an opportunity to find that first shot. Back at this point. There's a full default coming in. There's a lot of options here for the CTs on this map. We always discuss it, and they actually have the opportunity to push through A main, and especially in that smoke as well. You can see that's why Ricky's holding that angle and just trying to deny anything that could be a possibility at the start of the round.
That smoke slowly fading. Ustillo's actually going to get over to the right side. So he'll have vision toward both truck and the top of highway, but it means he's contained. He's pushed in and committed to that position at Adren. Could be the one to find him as well with that gap in the smoke. He still has got to be very careful if he wants to get out of this position at the same time. Okay, it doesn't quite. I'm glad we switched over. Good call, because otherwise I would have thought Adren may have had a possibility to spot him in the corner from behind forklift. That's going to fade. Oh, is he going to see him? That radar, it's got to be showing up, and it does. He still starts to fade in, whether he saw him directly or it showed on the radar. Can't quite get the shot through. Does spot one out toward Quad, though. Another response. Hobbit goes wide, and it's going to be Ricky immediately there to hold him down. So very well done from Renegades, and a bit sloppy, I have to say, as they look toward highway from Quad to let Mo get spotted out. And ultimately for free. Adren's pulled it back 3 versus 3 on 3 HP. So all kinds of the same number. Team kill comes in from Dojia. Follows it up, but goes down immediately after.
Well, there it is. The A side of the attack comes in quite disciplined from Renegades at the start, not overcommitting, waiting for those initial exchanges to come in there. And Ricky, funny, a very key frag. They did some damage towards Adren as well. I think he's on 3 HP, and Dozia must have just, I guess, pre-fired a certain position, taking him down. He was behind the forklift, I believe, as well. But still, Renegades managed to find another round. They keep alive. I think it was 2 players. Yeah, so 2 staying alive. So money not fantastic position. You can see that's why we've got Ustillo on the UMP. Actually swaps over with Azza. I think Azza's probably well known as being the most skilled player on the team, or tell the highest skill ceiling. But it's an equal exchange for now. Ricky holding off Adren as he takes down Ustillo. And that's the player with the UMP as well. So I guess that's a decent exchange for now for the terrorists.
Hobbit's going to get back in behind the forklift this time around. Important position because you can cover off the cross toward top highway as well. You can peek it quite quickly from barrels, but you also get control of the door as soon as it opens. And that'll bode well for Mo because it'll give him a little bit more security to watch in toward A main. JKS, meanwhile, has been waiting inside the toxic room over toward B the entirety of the round. Not really playing it aggressively like we often see with Get Right when he holds this, but he's making sure no one's going to push through, which does leave it as an option for his teammates to rotate back to. And in fact, the flushing of the mid vents indicates to me that they do want to start going in that direction.
Yeah, I would say that's fair, considering the smokes have available as well. I want to smoke city spawn, smoke towards Heaven where Zeus is right now. Flashes come in, no Molotovs at the bomb site or Heaven. That can be a bit of a problem.
This will be one at least. Oh, good play from Ricky to actually read that. Very well done. Spots him because that's so commonly overlooked, especially if they put the smoke on Heaven and he's forward of it. And JKS, he finds 2 on the entry. They'll bust out the vent early so that, well, I'm not surely 100% why, because they could have left it there for if anyone rotates through it, they'll hear it. But either way, pre-fire there is going to allow Mo and Hobbit potentially a chance. They've got 1 AWP, and I think you're dead right. They're going to have to hold on to that as it doesn't go 6-2 for Renegades. And Ricky doesn't quite have the angle through, but even if they flirt with trying to find exits, he's ready for it.
JKS doing very good work there. You can see Zeus, like you said, probably going to get that first round towards Ricky. You can spot the feet there before the AWP can actually edge in and find you there. But as soon as he hears the shots, JKS takes matters into his own hands, pushes through, lands that initial kill and gets a headshot towards the bomb side as well. He pushes into the C spawn and goes down, but he does delay the CTs and allows his teammates to sit up there. They drop the smoke in the vent, and these remaining CTs can't do anything about it. The AWP potentially had some chance there to go through the vent and try and find the first kill when the smoke's deployed. It's almost suicide to drop out of that position. So they're going to see saving these weapons here. Hobbit impressed me earlier in the day. Let's see if we can find 2 kills, gets Yam, and stays alive as well.
I thought that Ricky might go in that as well, and they'd lose 2 guns, because that was a decent setup from the CTs in the save. Regardless, 6-2 and others. Again, the last games we've had similar scorelines have been close, as too was Renegades and Cloud9 toward the end when it started off 8-2, so
Indeed.
Seems to be a trend today.
We saved the AWP, but Famous and UMP to balance things out here for Gambit. Renegades have a significant lead here at the start. Huh? It's definitely not, I think, kind of fair to do what side this is favoured on. It's pretty much 50-50. It's just whatever you prefer to start with. But getting good results on the T side, in my opinion, is always very, very good indeed. I feel like it's a slightly more CT map, depending on who you're playing.
Lovely shot through the edge of the box. Doesn't quite take him down, but still good reactions as he fell away, and that puts Ricky under 13 HP as Ustilla will charge up instead towards the boost position. JKS is going to do the same thing. So I mentioned the Get Right reference last time. This time with a smoke out, perhaps he's just waiting for that to go away, but oftentimes we see Get Right constantly looking inside of the B site from that toxic room. He's not scared of an AWP to peek it late. He wants to make sure he pushes them all the way back inside of the site. So JKS a little bit more passive in that sense, and it has allowed Doja to get out behind the box.
Yeah, he's kind of hoping Doja does push and try to hunt for information. He's just going to be holding a hard flank there, and you can see low HP. On towards Ricky in middle.
2 things to note. 1, the boost inside of A, and the second is the position of Mo watching Highway. And Hobbit stays up. He's watching him behind the door. They've got everyone to cover it off, but he can quickly rotate back around and cover off top Highway as well if they go that direction. But Vent's busted out. Doja now becomes the player to watch. Sits in the corner. JKS spots him. That allows them out. 4 players going to charge in toward the B site. And Zeus is going to be under siege and taken down immediately. Azza hits him. Watch out toward top. Mo gets there late. Can't cover the cross. Ustilo's got Hobbit. They know where the AWP player is now, but he doesn't hit the shot. Yam's able to put him in the grave.
Well, there we go. Just going to be Adren remaining there. 5 players, 4 Renegades execute towards B. This time have the utility to work with as well. Adren, nothing to lose at this point. Might as well go in the UMP, see what it can do. But JKS, great game for him so far. And it's going to be 2 kills for him to finish things off. And 5 players staying alive for Renegades. Getting decent control at the start of the round there. And the lack of firepower towards that B side of the map means they lose the first 2 frags. Mo tries to cover that AWP towards Heaven. Misses the first shot. Was a very difficult one, to be fair. As soon as he fires that shot, though, he gets taken down. And it should be another eco coming in for Gambit here. They're going to buy some CZs, P250s. They've got a smoke and a flashbang, but almost a guaranteed round for Renegades at this point, and looking very confident on this map here.
I would agree. And again, they get very fast toward their positioning. Crossfire set, well, not really cross, but the bait and switch we have to talk about in A-main, where Ricky watches, flash goes in, Ustill is able to turn around quickly once he baits them through. JKS with 2 on the pushes at B. He's going to take down the information gathering players, both Zeus and Mo. And Azza's already looking to try and get out towards Squeaky. Door's open, he's spotting through, and better still, the bullet's going to find Adren on the other side of it. Gives Ustill the chance to push back in from A-main, gets all the way toward the truck spot that Doja taps through, and Ricky's the one to get the shot with the P250 instead.
Oh, there it is. Another clean round for the Renegades. Have a look at that money right now. It's actually starting to swell, you know, 4 rounds in a row. We've actually keeping 5 players alive in the last 2 rounds. It's at about an average of a 7K across the board for each player. So they've got a couple of rounds in the bag here. Zeus does call a pause at this point. 8-2. What's their money like right now? So they can definitely buy. Gambit timeout tactical, that's just been confirmed on our air. So they've got about, 5K, I'd say, average on their team. Yes, the AWP is potential, but it would be a glass cannon. If they buy up the M4s and go into this round, they're definitely going to buy this round. It's just a matter of fact whether they bring up the AWPs, right? That's pretty much what they're deciding.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, they're definitely going to buy. It's just whether they're kind of discussing now, do we buy the AWPs, we go to a double AWP setup? They could do 2 glass cannons they wanted to and take a bit of a risk in that sense. I don't think that's the right call. I think get the single AWP out. Mo, we haven't really seen him AWP at all really, or at least had any massive impact with it. It's been most of his kills from the rifle so far. I think he's had it once so far. And we'll see what comes in from Gambit here. This is the 2-minute timeout, so coaches do have some heavy impact at this point. Just looking at the scoreboard right now, JKS, no surprise, coming on 12-5, leading the frag charts quite considerably. AZR, or Azza, who would have just been told not to say that, Azza, he's on 9-5. Hobbits, a player I've literally never cast before. He really impressed me earlier. Looked very skilled in terms of mechanical approach to the game. He's on 8 for 7. And at the bottom is going to be a Dren, 3 for 8. But still, 8-2. It's only not over yet. That's Renegades with a good start here to open things up.
Yeah, great start to open it up. Part of me wants to think that Zeus, having been a long-term family member of Na'Vi,
Yep.
now removed, is invigorated on this team. You can see him being very vocal in time. It's not, again, we talked about that earlier. It's not like that was uncommon when he played for Na'Vi, but I think this, I want to believe that he sees this Gambit team as a challenge for him and that he still has some fight left in him to be on the top. He definitely wants to make this team improve.
He certainly hasn't got the same sort of tools he had available in Na'Vi, right? In terms of like the tremendous skill ceiling those guys could have achieved in terms of like what you've got on paper. But certainly enough to work with to become a top team once again. They do have that major status ready for them. I think they're just basically every tournament right now is just get better as a team, prepare yourself for Atlanta. That's going to be coming up
Yep.
in January. So
Hot Atlanta.
yeah, so that's basically what he's trying to do with his team. Get them to as many events as they can, learn from it. It's not necessarily the end of the world. They've won one quite small tournament so far, which we said before was APM, so they've done that. So I guess it's just a matter of time. They're going to try and grind things out and allow this new edition of Hobbit to kind of really come into the fray. And we'll see what happens. In round number 11, there it is. So the glass cannon does come up for Mo. I said there was a chance of that happening, and Ricky takes that shot once again. Doesn't land it this time.
Close. There's a nice light, just didn't get the cigar. Mo, in return, does take down Yam as he repeaks it. So it's not the AWP gone from Ricky, but it is the shot well found. And again, you're talking about this glass cannon. He's sticking around for more.
It's strange they haven't smoke connected. That's normally default. Every single terrorist side, at the start of the round, we get a boost one especially, you smoke that. Because then it forces the AWP to come out or rotate back towards short. It's quite strange to see it not smoked at all. And
Perhaps a misread.
Yeah, well, taking that face like that, like you have to aim such a tremendous amount of that mid-area. You want to eradicate some risk there. Yam, quite brave to challenge about the smoke down.
Zeus elevated on top of the box, has headshot potential to drop away. Does bait out the op shot, follows it up. JKS goes down, so too Ustillo off camera, but Ricky through the edge of the box. At least gets them inside the sight, spots one more at Heaven. Knows he's desperately close, spotted the elbow as well. But also knows that if he misses a shot, it's a repeat potential for Mo. It's a battle of patience at this point in time as he's just sitting and holding. Meanwhile, pushing through, Azza does get across. Adren was the one that's close by on Tree, and the Molotov will negate that position. So Ricky can reset, cover off his teammate, trying to go for the play. Better shot, saves him, keeps him alive. So too does he stay alive on 12 HP, but in the end, Doji and Hobbit overwhelmed. The two on the site, they were surrounded.
Oh, very nice discipline from Gambit overall. We could see Mo there in towards Heaven, not facing at all, just holding that tight angle, waiting for his teammates to rotate in as well. I thought both terrorists are dead, that the player coming in from headshot position, and it was Ricky caught for smoke in his hand as well. Somehow recovers and nails the shot, but still not enough. It was a 3 versus 2 that was locked down very quickly indeed, and we do have another round going in favor of Gambit. Double orb set up now, they managed to recover Ricky's orb, and this is when you become a little bit more interesting on the CT side. It means you can have turrets on either side of the map, let's say quad towards the A site, and then actually facing towards B storage and B. Then you can actually have 3 rifles, giving you a little bit more dynamic. Possibly one of the vents, 2 actually challenging middle as well. At this point, Gambit is trying to recover the money situation. It's not great right now. If they lose this round, it could mean another double eco going forward.
Just through will slow them a bit, but Mo has a smoke in front, so his flash drop, rather than the straight drop, slows you a little bit, but it almost guarantees for a fact that you will get position. Gets countered out, so he'll have to stay wide inside of the checker room. He's done that for now. Meanwhile, JKS, he's gotten even closer. Using that same smoke that was deployed, he's actually slipped into checker. Zeus is up in Heaven looking toward the main entrance, but Mo's not even ready for this. Not exposed, thankfully, but JKS, if he wants to, could slip underneath of Heaven. And that secondary smoke indicates to me they don't know he's there.
Yeah, this is kind of sick. He could do so much work with this. I don't think they'll suspect him being there as of yet. That smoke is supposed to lock out the players towards the B storage already. I don't think they were anticipating a player being towards checkers. Zeus kind of looks like he knows, right? Or suspected at least.
And the thing is, it kind of takes away the fact, even if JKS were to push out and go underneath the Heaven, takes away the fact that he can get a double on that, because Zeus should be able to drop down and capitalize. So patience will prevail. Meanwhile, AWP, other side. Okay, JKS is gone. Was pushing up through, as you said, but there it is. Exactly that. Zeus wasn't exactly in Heaven right away, but he was able to still capitalize as he pushed all the way through. And now he's going to get aggressive. Push back. The flash comes out, takes down the bomb, but he's traded out by Yam. Followed up by Doja. Good quick rotations from Gambit. And you still are left in a 1 versus 3.
Yeah, that could have been really cool. You could see what they're trying to do there at that point, but let's finish this one off then, shall we? Estillo, he's going to be in a 3 versus 1, 23 seconds remaining, but Doja outpositions him. What they're trying to do there, they get JKS in towards that checkers position. As far as they're aware, undetected. His teammates then goes back towards the A side. They're trying to execute there and allow him to either go for a huge backstab or catch the rotating players. As he kills 1 or 2 as they're rotating from B, they can just stop that A execute coming in. They go back into that side, and he pretty much wins around single-handedly at that point. Unfortunately, though, detected, doesn't find a kill. Zeus takes him down, then he flashes flashes through that smoke and kills the remaining teammates there as well. So a good round for Gambit, like I said. Oh god, triple orb setup. This is quite rare. Double orb setup, sure. CT side, triple, I'm not so sure. It's a map that's very prone to full executions, and Adren now getting aggressive towards that squeaky door. Manages to get away for now, but wants to go for the reface.
Oh, just spotted, but not taken. Jumps up on the cinders, keeps him above the range of the bullet. I say that like it has an AoE. It really doesn't. Back in for Adren as well as he opened the door inwardly for the second straight round to try and find some information at Squeaky, but he's elected to give it up with that AWP, not hold the angle after that shot as we saw. Massive gap in that smoke gives you still a bit of opportunity to spot toward quad. More importantly for Ricky, he's got the same angle with the AWP, and means Azza just has to clear out the close position, and all they have to worry about when they walk in is the corner, and thankfully Adren's vacated that for them. But we've seen this angle for an AWP work as well, because all you have to do is time it, and if the smokes don't cover off that highway perfectly, then it has a lineup onto A main.
There we go. Still no real ground gathered for the terrorists so far. Find that first kill on Mo as well. He goes down to 20 HP, but it's going to be Dozier opening things up, getting the Ostillo, but the kill's quickly replied by Yam there. 4 and 4 for now. Still a couple of smokes available for the terrorists there.
That's opens door. That nearly gives a peek to Zeus, but he had a nade drawn instead. His teammate elected to throw the Molotov rather than him. He's got a flash left over. He'll deploy in toward A main. But look at B, because that's where bomb is, and Hobbit's left, but still has angle. Comes out from tree, no smoke in front of it. He's able to take the first shot. Yam's gone by with bomb. He does have a smoke he can deploy. And has made his way inside a site found by Mo. That holds rotations only temporarily, and they'll get by to get a bomb plant. Ricky's got bomb as well, but watch behind in the vents. We hear one blown out. He's got to give that full attention any second, because Mo's going to make his way. And he's only got 22 HP to play with. Push through there for Yam. Has to get aggressive. Can't find shots, but gets information. Molotov's to the left. Just gets back before a shot can come in, but they push through that Hobbit. He's found, but gets away, Yam. He's in the corner, lost and alone, as his teammate went down behind.
Yeah, 4 on 2. Yam had to try and make something happen towards CD Spawn at that point. He pushes in. If he nails that first shot and falls back, they've got a chance of winning it. He can't land the initial shots there, and it's still a 4 on 2. He gets 1 kill in the end, but his teammate getting pincered from every side of the map. Vent, storage, and then towards heaven as well. So there it is. It's for round number 5, obtained by Gambit. I'm not sure how strong the money is going to be. Yeah, not strong at all, even with Plan going down. And third stage Lost Men is a thing they're going to have to take. One of their first partial buys here. Tech 9s and PT50s, Matt, you've got a lot of potential to execute towards that A site. You can drop a smoke towards the railings, towards the bomb site, quad, and then try and segregate the CTs from the bomb site itself. And you're going for the initial plant, normally taking the bomb through squeaky door, or with the flashbangs, is hoping you can get that first kill. Adren's going to be the first line of defense here. A decent grenade goes in. I think that's going to hit Ustillo quite tremendously as well. Takes another 45 HP.
Flash follow-up from Ustillo. He'll push through with the Tech 9. He's going fast, but he's caught. Dozier was ready for it.
Oh, okay. It's a little bit of a bait and switch. You probably want to go now, lads, I'm afraid. Taking a bit too much time here.
Mo's got his position as well. Good first shot. Able to relocate. That gives them inside the site, but he does decent damage. He's got to stay alive in this. Doesn't really need to be fair. His teammates are going to get there. Lovely shot. As he wraps back around to find JKS. Does go down in the end now. Do they get to that AWP? And do they want another a double AWP? Apparently not.
Quite a bit of a mouthful there, man. WAWP.
I usually am a mouthful, Henry. You should know.
Depends on which map you're talking about. Anyway, 8-6 is going to be the last round going into this one. You can see what Renegades are doing that. They tried to send one player in towards the A side of all the smokes. A bit of a double fake going in there. They fall back. A little bit slower for my liking once you've got 1 kill. You see no other terrorist remaining there. You can probably give quite a concise call at that point. Round number 15, we do have an orb for Ricky here. Yes, we do. Doesn't have the head armor there. That's a bit of a problem, and that's a bigger one. Zeus finds the first kill on JKS.
Good follow-up as well. Finds Drennan. Hobbit in the hands of Ustillo. Better shot from Azza. You like that.
I did.
Ustillo on 17 will be the one to push forward and get the information as well. Just hold for the truck. Flash over, but Zeus forward of that is able to find the first kill. Thankfully, Ricky's got him down, because 2 versus 2 with Dozier wrapping in from behind could have been a problem for them, especially where they had kits to play with. Should now with this choke point, especially with the door closed. Covered off, B9-6. But second game in a row, this time tactical rather than technical. Then a pause. Good opening from Dozier. Has pulled this back, and I say it should go 9-6. Dozier finds 2 incredible kills, and Yam, thankfully with the flames down, is able to collect, but this will go 9, as I say, 6 at half. But a timeout changes it, because remember, we were 8-2 in this game as well. 3 games today that have been 8-2 that have ended up close. The Renegades have been in 2 of them. Yeah. They're still behind in this one. Rather, they're not. I got that backwards, because it switched in game. Look, Henry, you talk. I'm done.
9-6. Decent half for Renegades, I would say. Back and forth at the start, but after 4-2, it was Renegades running away with it. Like you said, 8-2 lead. Gambit got back into once they got the orb in the hands of Mo. They had a triple orb set up at one point, but some tactical execution there from Renegades to finish things off made it quite a compelling scoreline for them. I like the 9-6. If they win the pistol here, in a really good shot at taking this game. They're looking confident so far. JKS, great first half of the first half, I'd say. And they kind of dropped off towards the end, but still, pistol's going to mean everything here. Like I said, if the Aussies can pick it up, could be a lock-in after getting the 3-0 on the first half as well.
Yeah, exactly that. It was the first time we saw a game go 3-0 of our 3 that we've casted today.
Indeed. Well, straight back into this one. Of course, it is going to be Gambit swapping over to the T side here. They've got a Superman in the form of Mo. Super Mo, if you will.
Super Mo.
And
did you know that Superman's way cooler than Batman? I don't care what Jason says.
I think he likes Superman as well.
Probably.
I think he likes all of them.
Yeah, seems like a nerd.
That's such a low blow.
it's pretty lame,
Yeah.
but it's Jason, so it's fair. Adren spotted, downed in the end as well by Azur as he pushes in toward A main. It's going to push them all the way onto the B site. They were already setting for it, but they were waiting to see what their teammate could accomplish.
Wow.
Turns out they can't accomplish much more. Mo and Doji go down immediately. So too does Hobbit. Lovely shot from Ricky. He pops back out. It's JKS to close it instead. And there you go. 10-6, as you said, puts them well and truly in driving position.
Yeah, absolutely. No bomb going down does almost dictate they're going to force buy into the second round Gambit, that is, but great pistol work from Renegades overall. They win both pistols on this map, and they got 3-0 in the first half. We said that they can do that in the second. That's going to put them in a fantastic position going forward, and should be enough to clinch in this game. Let's see what happens here. There's the force buy coming in. Only Dozier. Oh, no, there he is. He managed to force buy as well. There'll be a range of Deagles, Tech 9s, and 150-50 as well. Flashbang in. Usillo looking confident. Wants his first frag. Maybe an overcommitment, all things considered. Molotovs and nades to being deployed all over the place. He wants to find his first kill, but putting himself in quite a scary position at the same time.
Bomb intentionally dropped. I haven't seen as many commitments to SMGs as we do from some of the upper echelons of team. You know, but SK will often go with 5 SMGs in these round 2s. They're sticking with a bit more rifle weaponry. So far today, we've got 2. We've got a FAMAS and we've got an M4 on JKS. And that FAMAS allows Ricky to bring out a kit as well. I mentioned that because this force buy from Gambit and the fact that they're running with Tech 9s could lend itself to a fast play on toward B, and it would be Yam and JKS exactly the man with the M4 that would have to shut them down on the way through. Yam's positioned himself a little bit closer as a result, too. He's got the UMP against this armor, but the headshot already in. JKS down. A nade takes him. M4's gone. Exactly that. The pistol's able to get position, but watch the low HP. Doge is on 5, and he's got to get toward the site. Bomb gets dropped as Yustillo has position toward heaven.
Not over just yet, as Hobbit does find another kill with that Tech 9. Renegades suddenly struggling against these pistols, but Ricky should stabilize things here. 2 versus 1. Hobbit, though, known to be a very skilled player individually. We'll see whether he can step up here. He's going to be pinned at either side. Needed to land that headshot. Azur takes him down. And yes, the plant comes in, but Gambit going to be on an eco next round. Close one, but still, Renegades coming out on top, 2-0. I assume we won't have a force buy from Gambit next round. It's definitely potential when you get those many kills, and you know the CT economy is running a little bit lower, and you get the bomb down as well. They've got about 3k average across the board for the T's, right? They could force if they really wanted to, and they're going all in, Matt. I like it. It's assertive. Let's get in there. It's the unexpected move. So you can see that aggression coming in from the Renegades in our last round. Maybe let us be expecting a clean sweep into this one. Could be interesting. So 2 AKs, 1 Galil, 2 pistols, a decent range of utility as well. Balancing that money around. Getting a bit hot in here, is it?
It is. I turned down the heat a little bit.
It is getting quite sweaty in this tiny box, but
It's true.
maybe you can take your shirt off.
You wish. Actually, you don't. My dad bought Gets Concealed. That's why I wear these loose shirts. It's my strategy, is to not reveal until it's too late and they're committed. Mo waiting to look inside A main. He's still not going to get aggressive in that position, though. They're going to just sit back again with these weapons. The weapons they think give them a heavy advantage in this. Remember, this spy has not yet been revealed in the fact that there's 3 rifles. You find that first pick fast enough, you catch them off being too passive, and you could have problems. Still no shots fired. Still don't know the rifles are up, but a good pick from Ricky and a Dren. He goes down. Not only that, Mo's tagged to 12, so very good work to control middle.
Yeah, it's all down to Ricky as well. He's the AWPer of the team is stepping up with the rifle there, but Hobbit, he strikes back straight away. Yam from the vents looking towards B storage, gets taken down, and Ricky still challenging, done more damage as well. And we'll see whether JKS is going to challenge towards the B side of the map here. Going to be by himself with 4 players potentially heading his way. Needs to find 1 frag here. Another headshot coming in for the CTs.
Well found, well struck. Ricky S is still staying alive in this, trying to bait himself back into the play with that flash as well coming through from the enemy side. Doesn't blind him up, but he capitalizes. 2 quills, very low HP in front of him, but Mo just able to spot him through the edge of the wall. Okay, he's going to cop a nade. Thinks it's better to go backwards rather than forwards, being alone and isolated, and that might be the right call. Despite they are so low, bomb's going to get caught in transition. That's not going to get planted. This is no chance for Mo.
Remember, this was a force buy from Gambit as well. That money's going to be in the bid next round. It's going to be 12-6, presumably. Mo with 12 HP and an AK-47. CTs don't really want to give too much away here. Force him to plant, or just spam him through the smoke as well. That works at the same time.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
Didn't think of that, did you?
No, I didn't see that coming. So this has to be an eco now. Like I said, a bit of a risk from Gambit there. Got themselves towards mids and some control there, but JKS did a tremendous job there. Yes, he was headshotting players, taking 2 down with him as well, after Ricky kicked things off towards mid. So, well recovered. I think Renegades know they're up against pretty much Felico at this point. That's why the MP9s come out. It will be Yam and Azza with those 2 weapons. And Mo trying to use a deagle here. Smoked out though, so can't really do too much at the start of the round. They've got 1 smoke. And Azza once again jumping at the wrong time, but still manages to get that first kill.
Nade towards door as well to make sure no one's going to try and push through and capitalize as a response to that. Ricky and Yam, and now, well, not Azza. Ricky and Yam able to get kills. Hold off the bomb as well from Doja. He gets found inside of the squeaky door. AK finds the kill onto him. And as you say, that money was certainly limited. They've got it back this time around. Even without the bomb plant, they're in a position to go for a glass cannon should they elect to do so. Doja is making that decision now, and not normally the one to be on an AWP. Not surprising to see him grab an AK.
Well, here we go then. Round number 20. 5 AKs available for Gambit. It's a nice, solid buy as well. All the smokes and molotovs required as well in terms of flashbangs. They'll be there as well. Bomb's still down in T-spawn. Bit of a mishap for them. Going to have to run all the way back to get it. So any fast ideas they had are going to be thwarted at this point. But still, looks like a full default. Run boost. It's been a while since we've seen this come in.
Oh.
And failed it as well.
They actually got the boost almost perfect. They just went 1 step too soon. If he had a counter-strafed, gone both directions, it would have worked. Ask Launders. Get that sync speed up. Doja obliterated.
That's pretty nice.
Even the sex god needs vision to kill people as the Dren's going to cop back out. And finds Stillo in transition toward the side. Again, Azza gets position before Dren's ready, though, and that's a double for him to make it now 4 on to 2. A push through from Ricky, though, gives that away. No need.
There's literally no need for that. The 4 on 2, and you've already got those 2 frags, and the Terror's now got such a hard job of actually getting any sort of progress on the map. He gives that frag away, and now it's a possibility for Gambit. This is actually a bit of a window for them. They have 1 minute remaining as well. Hobbit and Zeus. Like you said, Hobbit, great at getting opening frags on this map as well, as he's proven so far. JKS towards Checkers doesn't have the information. He's kind of waiting for a commitment from the terrorists at this point. They've got a Molotov. It's another kill going in favor of Gambit.
Should do. Zeus waits. Oh! Thinks he waits, but thankfully he's done so much damage, there's really no escape for JKS. Hobbit's got the kill inside this site. He's going to try and push through to hold off Yam. They're going to win this round. Yeah. They're going to pull this back. They've got the site covered off, and they've got the HP advantage.
Oh, well, finish my point after this. This still could go either way. The retake comes in, but both Renegades players on half HP.
That's the problem. You're right, and it could go either way. I was making a prediction, but I'm about as wrong as the analyst X normally is so far because it's just Zeus remaining. Hobbit looks the wrong way, but does turn it back to Zeus. Finds one, low, tries to spray through, has to go for the reload. He's got time to do so. Instead, he elects actually did not finish that. Oh, he did finish the reload. Okay, I thought it didn't quite go all the way through and goes for the flash, but Yam pulls it together for Renegades. They'll find 14 and crush the money once more for Gambit.
Yeah, very valiant attempt though from Gambit. I have to say, Ricky's pushing towards middle. That was the reason they got back into it. After you get that kind of lead, and it's this sort of game for Renegades, a team that's been known to air quotes, choke at points in big games like this. You want to make sure you eradicate any sort of chances of risk at that point. Pushing that position there was just not needed. You've got so many angles to check. He opens up that window for Gambit. They certainly capitalized, but Yam coming out on top in the clutch at the end. It's going to be 14-6, and we'll see what happens at round number 21 here. Still money available for Gambit. I think they're at pretty much maximum loss bonus here. Yeah, 5-0. Got the bomb down as well, so 5 AKs across the board, but Renegades in touching distance down that of winning this up bracket game.
A huge feat for them to find their way into the playoffs. All things considered, when you looked at their group, the fact that Cloud9 as well has to play Optic in a best of 3, one of those two teams will go out in playoffs, or excuse me, before the playoffs in groups. Zaza makes his way over toward NBK. Molotov and smoke allowing him to do so. Give Ricky a chance to fire down toward mid. Actually getting mobile inside of that side, I have to say, considering he's the only one there.
Well, man advantage is still in favor of Gambit for now. This is a map that's very reactive for the CTs. You normally want to be flashing in, trying to find a kill and return. As it could be doing that just now. It looks like he wants to kind of explore. There's the flash I'm talking about. And now he can look for the first kill. Nails it as well. Look for the second. What a great play from Azza overall.
So well timed and great discipline on the second shot. Both players blinded. Normally you'd have a player turned away in that position at the box, but they were just getting there, so it catches them off. Hobbit, again, exactly. JKS, the one to push, gets the kill back, and they give up middle in doing so. Look at the kills coming through for Gambit. Oh, that's so unfortunate considering the situation. JKS was already committed to it, and Azza is going to go down to Doja.
Yeah, so this time Azza recovers the round, gets in a fantastic position, but another player caught out of position. Now this time it's JKS. It's a great idea for him to actually push in towards T-spawn and actually try and get the backstab on them, but you feel like it's just not needed. Wait until they've committed towards the site, then you come in from a pincer maneuver. At that point, Gambit just being very disciplined and not panicking those situations, allowing them just allowing Renegades to make the next mistake. And look how important this round was, or that previous one was, considering the money. We go into an eco here, flashbang towards B storage, and it's going to be a four-man rush here. And Usillo gets the first kill. Mo now does fall back, and he's going to have some backup from Zeus as well. That could have got problematic, but they're recovering at this point. But it's going to be 2 kills in favor of Renegades. So in terms of the buy they brought in, finding 2 kills against a fully equipped terrorist team, maybe 3 here as Mo goes on to 8 HP, is actually a pretty decent result.
Yeah, the issue with this is that, Mo going down, as you said, on 8 HP, the bomb was actually outside of the big garage over toward A main. And they could have wrapped down on the spot of that. The problem being it took so long. They've recovered it, gotten away, and they've gotten a player in toward middle to watch them try and go toward the retake on the A site. So Gambit should have this relatively controlled. As bomb does get planted, and it's Doja that's waiting for them at bags. Smartly, they're not going to go that direction, so still a chance for this to happen. They've got no kits, no armor. Guns picked up, no less, but chances limited.
Well then, yeah, I don't think there's any chance of them winning this round. I think this point is try and find the remaining terrorists there. Good position from Dozier. He's going to find Usillo and JKS, of course, to save his AWP. Considering the round, P250s and a couple of flashbangs. Rushing B, getting 3 kills and saving an AWP, that's a pretty tremendous outcome. Considering the scoreline, where the money's at right now for the CTs, I think this is probably as good as it's going to get. Dozier and Adren looking to hunt down his final AWP. It's probably worth the risk. And JKS, not known for his AWPing. This is that first shot, might just go down here as well. Doesn't actually burn alive. I thought it was going to touch him at that point, but manages to find that 4th kill and take the AWP into round number 23, yeah. Well, do you have money available? Certainly for Renegades. Just need 2 now to close this game out. Just getting to number 15 at this point would be such a tremendous morale boost for them, just to relieve a lot of the pressure. That's going to be the first objective at this point. So 4 and 4's 1 AWP in the hands of Ricky, of course, and he's actually going towards B. Changing his position up slightly.
Fast play. Flash is going back out to counter that, though, as they can't quite get around the corner before Ricky gets in position, finds Hobbit. One player was close. Counter flash from his teammates, going to hold off a Dren, so he can't find the frag in return. And smartly so. There's JKS on the site, runs backwards, discovers that through the skylights, they put out a Molotov on top of the generator, realizes that Adren's also found position, but thankfully Ricky's relocated into heaven, found the bomb, and that'll slow the push toward the site to get the plant, at least for now. Smoke out toward the tree in heaven. It's Mo to grab it, go toward default in the meantime.
Well, the retake will come in. The CTs do have incendiaries, flashbangs, smokes available, and they've got the man advantage as well. A difficult hold for Gambit, but one they're certainly capable of.
Dren's going to be the one watching off of the vents. Usillo wants through. He's got to bust out the metal. Give away the noise. That smoke behind him, he won't be too concerned. It is to isolate him, but he can still watch. He's got to be careful, though. He's trying to commit to it, trying to get in position to support his teammates. In doing so, he's found at least 1 kill, but he's gone down from heaven. That leaves vent still a possibility. And the round goes the way of Renegades. They'll find 15 on a lovely retake.
Absolutely. Very nice retake indeed. Had that man advantage and didn't give too much away at that point. Had the utility to work as well. Didn't rush in 1 by 1. Made sure they were calculated. Had 1 player in the vents, like you said. Had to shoot it out, give his position away. But if his teammates actually come in first and take the aggro, then he can come in and clean up with them. So, bomb goes down, but you can see the money isn't fantastic for Gambit here. To get 2 players on pistols, a Galil in the hands of Hobbits, and 2 AKs, that's pretty underwhelming in terms of the grenades they can bring to the round as well. This could be it. If ever there's a time to close this game out, this would be the one. Round number 24, 15-8. They're under-equipped in terms of weaponry, grenades, and Ricky opens it up once again. Mo, a difficult challenge at the start of the round, and Azza just relentless. Now they've won the round. No one needs to push. Fall back and wait for the T's to commit at this stage. Surely.
Hobbit's going to go away from that B side as well. Look at Azza. He's made his way into lockers. He can hold off the A main position. They do have to watch for the fact that Doji's given it up because of the fact that Doji's gotten down towards Squeaky. Doesn't want to leave his teammate alone inside of the site, isolate himself. And meanwhile, Hobbit, who rotated out of B, gets boosted late, able to find Ricky. That's the AWP back down. And the lead in terms of manpower cut to just 1.
Yeah, Ricky, no one there to refrag with him. Obviously got the AWP, he's feeling confident, but it's a window of opportunity now for Gambit. Still have a player to find to equalize things here, but they got to try and pick up that AWP towards connector, presumably. They can do that. Great work for them. They've got back into this round now. What a shot that was from Hobbit.
He's looking good this round. Very good.
Yep.
2 very important kills to pull them back. One on the AWP, now the opening on Highway pulls JKS away from Z Connector as well. So look where the bomb is and look at the mid control they have. Good push from you. Still to find Doji though. They're going to go on this too. This is risky. JKS's position should secure this. Finds him and both and lines it up. Down he goes. Renegades through to the playoffs. Our second team to do so behind Godsend.
It's quite rare to say that, isn't it? Renegades and playoffs. It's been a while since we've seen him on European soil, and this time actually flying through the group stages, looking promising so far. Some ropey rounds, I have to say. Some rounds where they had the advantage and making some questionable decisions, but overall, a disciplined game from them and one I'm actually quite impressed with overall.
So we've got our 2 playoff teams, our 2 semifinalists at least set for Sunday. They'll have a break. Don't forget, because of all of the games that have gone on, there's been lots of them and a few upsets. If you're wondering how those 2 teams got there, you can easily find out by going to the Score eSports application on both your iPhone or your Android. So I think it's I forget what the iPhone App Store
Google
and
Play.
Google Play. I knew that one, but App Stores, iPhones, I don't use Macs. Just so you know.
There you go.
I like Apples, but I don't like Macs.
Yes. Well, there we go then. Renegades looking strong, actually taking down Gambit. I could say, I guess that's not really an upset. I think Renegades, we haven't really seen much of them on European soil so far. We know they're a good team. They've always just had that
Rebounding.
struggle. Yeah, exactly. They've always just had the struggle of actually getting quite deep in tournaments. Always had the 1 or 2 good games. But this time, like I said, just cruising through the group stages now, actually looking like they could be a bit of a hot prospect for the entire tournament.
I think I think that's a high possibility. I mean, like they say, they get tomorrow off. One of the benefits for that as a team, and I know I left my cable in front of me, it's triggering me more than anyone else probably, but one of the teams, the advantage of being a team that's an underdog that gets through and gets a day off means that you have time to now prepare for your other opponents. You actually can look at them, watch their games, maybe do some demo review. We know PK's there to do so, so there's opportunities for that. But first, before we let the analysts talk about the game, we've got to send it over to someone on the stage who, no offense to Smix, has a better mustache than you, Henry. That's supposed to be a jab at you. I realize I got you both with that one, but Smix, it's all you.
Thank you very much, Sadicus. Congratulations, Yam. First of all, you are moving on to the semifinals. Huge win over there. But when it came to this particular map, it came down to cash. Now, how did your team feel about that? Because your team, Renegades, has not played cash in over 2 months.
Honestly, we weren't, I don't know, we were ready for it. Like, although we haven't played it, it's still a map we do play. But it was more a fact that they don't play the map either. So we were way more confident. I feel that we were still a lot more prepared. And yeah, we were just more prepared.
Well, when it came to the map itself, throughout most of the game, it just felt like you guys were controlling the pace of the game. But from your perspective, how did you feel that it played out?
That's kind of how it was like. Like, yeah, we were just really the ones just dictating everything. It got a little bit shaky about halfway through when they had that the tactical timeout. They started getting a few rounds building up, but we still, got a pretty reasonable half. I think it was 9-6, so we were really happy with it. We won the CT pistol, and yeah, it was pretty easy to close out.
Now, I spoke to you pretty recently at the iBuyPower tournament, and there, unfortunately, you guys weren't able to make it out of group. So I can't help but feel like this win and moving on to the semifinals must mean even more.
Yeah, it's really satisfying. Losing to FaZe and Immortals at iBuyPower sucked, but they're 2 really good teams, and they both did really well at Oakland. So, I mean, that softened the blow a little bit, but yeah, I feel like us coming top 4 here is deserved, I think. I think we've been working really, really hard, and yeah, I'm just glad it showed now.
And last question before I let you go, Yam. You know that the teams that are left in this tournament, which teams do you think would serve as the biggest obstacles to you guys? When I asked this to RDL earlier, he actually mentioned Gambit, who you guys just played. So who would you answer?
I think it's got to be Dignitas still. They're still a really, really good team. Playing them was probably going to be really hard, but I don't know. I'd like to play, I think maybe Godsent in the, if we were to make it to the grand final, I'd like to play Godsent.
On their home soil.
Yeah, that's right.
Sounds good. Well, congratulations again on making it to the top 4. Very well deserved. And with that, guys, we do have our first 2 teams that are moving on to the top 4 secured. It will be Godsent and the Renegades.
Yam Bam, thank you, ma'am. It's going to be Renegades who take a dash to the semi-finals on cash, a step closer to the cash, $100,000 on the line. Moses and YNK residing to go ahead and close out the day. The Aussies have managed to get themselves a spot in the semis, and there's no doubt that that is a huge win. Those are genuine, real positive vibes, seeing them picking that one up. It's not often that they get to see that kind of, that relaxing day off and get to the semi-finals, especially given the upset by Power Masters.
I'm not sure if those are like positive vibes or just like, thank God, we've finally done it. We've gotten there. But no, I mean, this was a really good match out of Renegades, and I think the big thing is you could see clearly how outclassed Gambit was on cash, at least by Renegades, because they had some very sick setups. The 4th round tactic they did on the T side with the 2 Molotovs they had left in A main to just prevent the defuse, perfectly designed for a round where CTs usually don't have the economy to buy very many kits. And then when you switch over to the defensive side of things, the pop flashes in A main were crisp to peak in the mid round and get a couple kills there. They had a sick, one player open the door and the pop flash timed perfectly to blind the terrorist who was waiting in the door to do some kind of lurk, and it just never. I mean, Gambit just didn't have anything prepared to counter or match that level of execution on cash.
I mean, was it just a battle of 2 underprepared teams? I mean, the fact that Renegades haven't played it for 2 months, which was beautifully highlighted by Sue, and then he just went, yeah, well, we don't really play it, but we still play it. And then you've got Zeus, who previously never wanted to bring it into the fray with Navi, and his team didn't manage to find success this time versus the Aussies.
Yeah, it's also a matter of them losing both pistols. And when you're not as practiced on the map, that really helps you a lot because, you get the advantage early on. You have more room to play with, to go for aggressive plays. You saw that even Renegades, after winning the first gun round, in the following gun round, they just decided to push through the smokes on B. Of course, they were completely mowed down, but it's a good sign that they're not afraid to go for a play like that, to try and brute force their way in. And because the fact they won pistol and the first gun round, that still allowed them to have a good T half in the end.
That CT pistol was pretty baller as well.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Hitting some nice shots there. Well, yes.
Just real quick, I actually think that, when you look at the first pistol round, Gambit actually had a great setup, and they had a lot of opportunities to get the kills, but they just seemed like they missed their shots, unfortunately.
I made this point in Oakland, and it kind of applies here as well, since Renegades has that whole, like, we don't play it, but we play it type thing. Cash is a map that in NA, in Rank S, this map is pugged frequently by the players. So even if the teams don't play it, the players have so much experience playing with each other, having different kind of setups. They know the angles, obviously, and especially know how to unleash their skill. If you look at IEM Oakland, the maps that were played at that, I mean, Cash was the least played map. It was only played twice the whole event, and one of them was in the grand final. So primarily European teams that made it into the playoffs there, and it's just not played very much. Like they for whatever reason, Europeans don't really like it. So the NA players are going to have experience on it, even as individuals over the European teams.
And we've already highlighted that we are kind of giving Renegades the honorary title of an NA team, given their stint now in North America. In fact, playing for the Detroit Renegades, it kind of goes without saying.
Detroit, baby.
Did I say it wrong? Detroit?
No, that was good.
Detroit, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
just being a little troll.
They play sports, right? They do
troll,
sports things.
Yourself.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, you like that? It's getting to the end of the day.
Yeah, we're doing well. We are. Let's continue this road to
Hold
success by bringing up the recap of the day. Of course, it will be the quick statistics to understand exactly how this match did go. You're right, it is getting late. 22 for is Azza and 22 for JKS, those 2 triple-lettered heroes. And of course, to understand it further, we'll have another triple-lettered hero. It's YNK to understand exactly what we witnessed. 8 frags for Adra. 8 frags. And then this is what I wanted. This is what I was hoping for. This is where I was trying to guide the conversation, is of course a recap of both of the groups. Godsent getting themselves that semi-final spot is a huge sigh of relief to every Swedish fan here in Jönköping, and Kingwin get another chance playing the winner of Dignitas Flip. And if we do go to the flip side of the bracket, of course over to B, you'll be able to see that it is Gambit waiting in the wings for the winner of that North American domestic brawl. A best of 3 in the losers match. One of those teams will be going home in the groups, Cloud9 or Optic. North American fans will be forced to choose, but these are the 2 teams that have been set to the semis, and I can't help but feel that many people would not have anticipated a Godsent Renegades playoff spot at the end of day 1. I mean, people were looking at Cloud9, people were looking at Dignitas, and those early upsets have twisted the knife.
Yeah, definitely. And even if like there were going to be upsets, a lot of people might have been thinking Optic would be the one to replace Cloud9. I mean, Dignitas seemed very, very secure in being able to, the one to get through. The one thing to note, and this was highly publicized, I know Thorn made a big made a big deal of it as well, is if you go back in the history of Counter-Strike, when this format is used and teams make it directly to the semifinals out of groups, they've never won the finals. It's been 14 of 14 times that teams have qualified directly to the semis, and those teams just don't win finals. So that's one interesting thing to note.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly going to be problematic. Now, if you are watching on the broadcast and you're sitting there like, these guys are having a lot of fun. They're losing their sanity, but they're having a lot of fun. And you wish you could perhaps have seen that opening ceremony firsthand. Fortunately, DreamHack has a lot of events coming up next year, and there's one in particular that you most definitely need to be excited about. You may have seen the trailer, but DreamHack is going to Vegas, baby. And if you are around in the area, or if you fancy a holiday involving your favorite game and a whole lot of fun outside of game, you should be sure to check out tickets. The link is beneath you. DreamHack Masters is always fun. My first experience was in Malmo, and that was a party. I'm sure Vegas would be even more so. Yeah,
I mean, Malmo, I think for the most part, among the talent, was one of our favorite events to have worked this year. Yeah. So I mean, that was definitely sick by DreamHack.
I imagine that just going now. Put that in Vegas.
One of us will not be making it out of Vegas. Stay tuned to find out who exactly that will be. See you on the next episode of DreamHack Masters.
Seeing as how we're in Vegas, we might just open, a bet for who it's going to be.
Oh, we could, yeah, an open
Give the odds.
Definitely not Sadicus.
Definitely not. No, he'll be in his hotel room doing prep for the next day. All right, with that one talked about, we can, of course, remind you about how this event has come together. It's not only the excitement leading up to DreamHack Masters, we've also got a whole lot going on in this event, and that's all thanks to our sponsors, one of which is this beautiful team here. I've been drinking out of this, or not this one. Ugh. I've been drinking out of one in there, but it's, of course, down to G2A. They've been enabling us to make this happen. They're actually doing a giveaway where you can go ahead and get yourself some discount codes and even some money off cards. Alongside that, of course, the rest of them, ZOWIE, Alienware, and who else? Razer, Monster Energy. All of those cool people coming together to make this eSports biggest digital
Monster
festival
saved my life today.
Yeah, I mean, you were on the brink.
I was struggling.
Then you destroyed a can of Monster, and now he's doing some top-class analysis. Top-class analysis. All right, well, that's all done for the day. We've had a spectacular time.
All right then, Mr. English Language.
Yeah, this is getting aggressive.
I'm trying. And you know what's coming. It's, of course, the recap of the day. If you want to understand exactly how today did, if you just joined us, first of all, you kind of missed all the fun and games, all the hijinks and goofs and gaffs have happened. But if you wanted to go ahead and understand the scores and understand why Renegades and Godsent are locked in for the semi-finals already, an app to help you recap that is very, very accessible. Of course, it's called the Score eSports application, news, articles, statistics, and more. Do be sure to check it out. It's, of course, available on your iOS and on the App Store. That's the same thing. Google Play as well alongside it. We are getting through today. It's been a pleasure to have you here joining us. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights and the lowlights of our first day here for the DreamHack ZOWIE Open. We'll be back tomorrow at a very similar time to continue, and we'll be waving goodbye to some of our first teams of the 8 attending. We hope to see you there.